So welcome back to my channel. Sorry I've been away again for a while. This time we're going to do the pre-flight external checks, or the A checks. So I was due to fly, but the aircraft had different ideas. It wouldn't start no matter what we did. I learned a lot about lean start and mixtures. But also it underlined for me the importance of these checks, because you could smell a lot of fuel by the time we finished trying to start the aircraft. So for this, you're going to need your checklist, and you need to make sure you got the right checklist for the plane. In Merseyflight, they specify an updated checklist. Quite often there'll be a checklist in the aircraft, and you'll also need your fuel tester. And the fuel tester is to just take some fuel out of the bottom of the drain of the tank to see if the fuel is clear, to make sure there's no contamination or bits that will impede the engine when you're flying. The key about the checks is just to keep your wits about you. We'll start back from the aircraft so we can see if there's any pools of oil or petrol. If you smell petrol around the aircraft, even though those checks aren't on the checklist, then you just need to be aware this is about making sure the aircraft is airworthy. It's about your safety and the safety of any passengers. So pre-flight checks: check the aircraft documents, fire extinguisher and first aid kit are in place and the parking brake is on. Then we're looking for the static drain.
Alternate static source just under here somewhere. There it is. So it's just like a valve, and then it has like 90 degrees. So it's just there. Like okay. It's the same as the other ones. Can you feel it?
Yeah. Some of them do and some of them don't they? So I just click it back and click it forward.
That's it. So it's like 90 degrees basically. Yeah.
Next on the checklist is to operate the trimmer. So we want to move the trimmer all the way forwards and then all the way backwards, and then return the trim to neutral. You should see the yoke move. You should feel some resistance. So the magneto and the start switch should be off, and both the master switches should be on. So now we're going to select the tank with the lowest amount of fuel, and then we need to be quick with the next bit, because we're going to discharge the battery as we turn the lights on, and we want to go outside and check them and then come back and turn them off before the battery is discharged. So we're first going to check the left red light. We want to be checking the coloured lights are about 110 degrees forward, and the white strobe lights are clear, that none of the lenses are cracked, that the bulbs are working. And on the red starboard light, again 110 degrees red forwards, and the white strobe light is clear, and that none of the lenses are broken. So back in the aircraft, master switch off, flaps down fully, ready for the external checks. We're going to start the external checks on the left hand side of the aircraft, just behind the left wing. Again, looking for any pools of oil or fuel, aware of any fuel aroma around the aircraft. We want to check the flaps are well connected, that the hinges and the bolts are secure, that the bonding straps are not worn, that they are connected securely and in good condition. Look at the overall condition of the side of the fuselage and the wing, and make sure that there's no obvious damage, no dents. We're going to check the lights again just to make sure that they're not broken. Check the surfaces, particularly along the front edge and the leading edge of the wing. Check the stall warning is not impeded, and the stall strip on the front edge of the wing is not damaged. That front end of the wing does get quite a lot of wear and tear. Obviously it's the cutting edge of the wing when you're flying. Want to check the undercarriage, make sure that the undercarriage is secure, the landing gear and the tyre are not damaged, and that the brake block and disc look in good order. So now onto the front fuselage. We're going to just check that the outside air temperature probe and the windscreen has no damage. Check the fuel drain, and then we need to open up the cowling. I wasn't able to do it on the simulator, but the cowling can be a bit tricky, and you want to hold the cowling when it's open in case it gets caught by the wind, otherwise it's going to get damaged. You're checking in there for a hydraulic fuel level, make sure that there's no leakage, and then make sure that it's properly closed and secure when you put the cowling back. Next we're going to check the nose, the undercarriage and the tyre, the nose gear strut, the landing light, and check the propeller and the spinner. Again, this leading edge gets quite a lot of battering. Make sure the intakes aren't blocked and that there's no damage to any of the front fuselage part of the aircraft. And then finally in this section we open up the right hand cowling. Here we want to check the oil level between 4.5 and 6 quarts. You don't want to take the oil dipstick all the way out, otherwise you'll drip oil on the floor. And then again, make sure that the cowling is closed and secure when you put it back. Now onto the right wing. Again, we want to check the landing gear and the tyre. No obvious evidence of damage. Check the brake block and the disc, just a visual check. And again, we're going to open up the fuel, check the fuel drain and the vents. Make sure the fuel is clear. Make sure the fuel cap is secure. And once again, checking the surfaces, particularly around the leading edge and the end of the wing. Make sure the lights aren't damaged. And then back to the right wing, we're going to check the bonding straps, the hinges, the bolts are all secure, and that there's nothing impeding the movement of the aileron. And finally the rear fuselage, checking the surfaces, make sure that the back windows are clean and clear, no cracks. The aerials are both present and not damaged. The tailplane and the elevator, and there's a little plate with some holes. That's the static wick outlet. We just need to check that that is not impeded. Check the rear light and the rudder. And again, we want to just make sure the bonding straps are in place, secure, and they've got no visible signs of damage. Okay, that's all I've got for you in this video. If you liked it, please click like. If you want to subscribe, then you'll be notified when other videos are uploaded, and leave any comments. I love to hear from you, and I always respond. And I'll catch you next time.